Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Send. This is going to be a quick guide on the build I've been playing recently for the Misery Gauntlet in POE in the past few days. As you can see from probably the thumbnail and the title of this video, I've been playing a Scion using Ball Lightning, specifically Ball Lightning of Static that we got from the Zaro Lab. It's a very good skill. It's fairly popular currently, especially on the Hierophant ladder. It's one of the best totem builds you can play right now. However, we decided to go with Scion, and I actually started with Hierophant, but after unfortunate death, I had a look at the ladders. I saw that Scion was fairly easy to get up to the higher levels, so I thought I'd give it a shot, and here we are. Recently just got 2 maps. I'm currently level 76, just clearing white maps, so it's a very early build, and you'll see that in the gear. But yeah, it's been definitely a journey. I've played Gauntlet one other time, and did manage to get 95, but I was playing, I think, Champion, still skilled Champion, so it was very safe, very easy. And this campaign was by far more difficult than last time that I played, so props for that. There's some mods that I like. There's a mod that I really dislike. I really don't like that the enemies have reduced damage just flat out, so you do 70% of the damage you should be doing rather than 100%. I don't like that. I think that just makes the game spongy and not fun. There's nothing you can do to play around that. So but that's not the point. We're here to talk about the build. So let's start with the current gear of the character right now. So for our one very simple one right now, we have a bunch of flat and spell damage and a bit of fire damage, which doesn't really do much for us. Accuracy does nothing, light radius does nothing. I have cast speed here. I'm not certain that it does anything for the totems, but I had nothing else to put here, so that's what I went with. I'll have a look and test out and see if there's something else that I can get on the suffixes, because I'm pretty sure the cast speed is just not doing anything. On our helmet, as you can see, we have just health and resistance. I'm just looking to swap this helmet, that's why I haven't invested crafting into it. I'm trying to get a base with higher armor and evasion, and optimally we'll get everything with armor and evasion because I'm trying to get suppress capped as well. But as you can see, high life, a bit of regen, dex is not important, and cold resistance. And very low cold, but it's okay because we're not exactly struggling for resistance in this build. On our shield, this is actually a fairly good shield. It's got very high armor and chaos resistance, which I'm currently trying to cap as well. And then I just crafted life. On our amulet, we got a triple resist suffix with mana, which is very good for us because we're doing MOM. And then I crafted life. Could be much better, but like I said, this is all gear that I got from just the campaign. I haven't swapped any piece since I've got into maps, so this is all gear that I found during the campaign. On here, both rings are actually fairly good. We got tier 1 life and double resistance. The flat is not important. Here, once again, tier 1 life, a bit of energy shield, a resistance, an int. I'm keeping the suffix open here until I find elemental chaos resist craft from Betrayal, and then I'll put it on here. But until then, I'm leaving the suffix open on this. On here, we have tier 2 life, I believe. Tier 1 life. And a resistance and a bit of mana. That's it. Could be much better, but again, the life is very good. And finally on the belt, very weak belt here. We got 2 resistance, a bit of mana, and very low life. So, lots of space to upgrade still. Finally on the boots we have 20 movement speed, a resistance, and 70 max life. That's it. Oh, chest piece, sorry. Again, just a resistance, life, mana, and I crafted percentage armor and DS. It's fine, it does the job for now. We still, as you can see, very much on a 4 link, so we are very low on DPS currently. I'll put the POE in the description below, so you can see the build as it is right now and all the effective HP and all the damage. The damage is very low right now, with F damage just to clear white maps, and that's pretty much it. Maybe early yellows, but definitely not to the later, tier 9s, tier 10s. I don't think we'll be having the damage, especially because the damage is cut down by a further 10%. So, unfortunately, we're gonna have to find a bit more gear, but that's fine because white maps are very easy, thankfully. I do enjoy that they added this gauntlet, making white maps very easy to gear. For the passive tree, first and foremost, I got this at level 19, which is the earliest you can do, to get out of the Magi. This is a big deal for the maximum life if you have nothing equipped on your gloves, which we do not, as you can see. And then I'm still using the movement speed. I used that throughout the whole of the campaign. I'm still using it. I'll probably eventually put something on my boots, because the 30 movement speed is nice, but it's not really necessary, especially once you get a good pair of boots with proper movement speed. For our ascendancy itself, as you can see, we are using Hierophant, of course. We need this to play the totem build that we are currently doing, +1 maximum totems, Arcane Surge as well, a bit of extra MOM, and a lot of increased maximum mana. And then I went with Pathfinder, just for the flask deck. In a perfect world, I will drop a lightning coil, or maybe a cloak of flames, and that will allow me to convert a lot of damage to elemental, and then I can swap my utility flasks for triple elemental resistance flask, and get a very, very tanky setup with that. Yeah. For the passive tree itself, as you can see, this is the tree. Up here I'm starting to make my way up to Art of Thunder. And this is the setup that I have currently. So as you can see, very defensive setup. We come all the way down here to get all this max resistance. If you're not playing hardcore, obviously this is not necessary. You can drop all of this. You can probably even drop all of this, and instead of going into suppress, just take some block nodes and focus on block, probably. If you're going to be doing that, however, you probably want to use Tempest Shield, which means you probably don't want to be doing Mind Over Matter. And yeah, this is the passive tree. This wheel, very, very powerful while leveling to counteract the fizz as extra chaos that the gauntlet has right now. So yeah, this is the passive tree. As for our skills, as I said, Ball Lightning of Static is our main damage. Then I have it linked to added lightning damage, cruelty, and spell totem. The last two links, I believe, are going to be inspiration support and lightning pen support. There is a version of this build that plays crit rather than using elemental overload. You can do it. I've tested it on an Hierophant. It's very doable. I like it, but it requires a bit more investment, obviously. You would not take this, you'd probably take these nodes for totems up here. You'd probably take these nodes up here as well. And just as a general rule of thumb, like take these here. Just invest a bit more into crit. And in that case, your final two links would probably be both of the supports for critical strike damage. So crit damage and crit chance. this one and this one, these two. As I've explained, we have nothing on the boots and the gloves. On the helmet, here we just have multi-totem support, decoy totem, and flame dash. Decoy totem has been very, very powerful in the gauntlet, and it makes cheesing some of the bosses super easy, where they don't actually have enough damage to kill the totems. So you can just maintain their attention on one of the two totems, because you can have two up at all times. And by the time they start to kill the first one, the second one is already out, and they're gonna be flip-flopping between the two, and the remaining of your totems are just gonna be wailing on them. So it's very good. Bosses like the Chevron Brutus fight is very easy. The fight in the sewers with the Wedry, super easy. The moment you start getting a few levels into Decoy Totem, it becomes very powerful. And then here we have Determination, Conductivity, and Determination is linked to Eternal Blessing, which means it doesn't consume any of our mana, but we cannot have any other auras in our mana. So this is the only aura we are using. If I can get the conversion going, I can then drop this, probably, and instead focus on having something like Wrath, or maybe Zealotry, and unsure which one would be better. I think Wrath is probably better, but I would need to POB it at the time. And finally, here we have our guard skill with Arcane Cloak, linked to efficacy and increased duration. Efficacy is just here for the skill effect duration, increase it further the duration of our Arcane Cloak. So at the moment it's a 7-second protection that we got. So it's good enough. And the more we increase our mana pool, the more this is going to increase. So very good. And yeah, that's very much the build as is right now. I'll leave the POB in the description below. If there's any question that you guys have, feel free to ask. You can follow along with how the build is going in POE Racing in the ladder, and look up the character name if you want. I will be farming a lot in white maps for a little bit, hopefully get to 90s, and then we'll see what we're doing after that. Trying to get at least a 5 length before I proceed into yellows, but we'll see how it goes. I will also, after the video, I'm going to leave just a quick map that I've done on this, just a quick white map, just to showcase how the build is clearing right now. Again, the damage is pretty low, but it's doing the job fine. So if you want to see the build in action, look forward to that. But that's all for me for now. I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.
not have but a moment's respite?
An uncut sword!